I just want to make sure this mic is all good. Give me enough space. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Happy Tuesday. It is January 9th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. I think we're at 8610 or so. So make sure to share these videos if you like them. Like, comment. Appreciate it as always. Glad to be with you. It's a beautiful morning on a Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, your 90 kg. Dow futures are down 195 points. NASDAQ down 136 points, while the S&P down 0.57%. The Russell right now is down 1.29%. So we had a nice day yesterday in terms of the market, but getting a pullback here in the futures side. 10-year Treasury yields are elevated 4.025%. Dollar index up 0.12% at 102.32. The volatility index, the VIX, is up 2.75% at 1344. Crude oil starting to bounce. Remember, crude oil tanked yesterday about 4%. It's up today 1.61% at 71.92. $2.06 for gasoline futures, up 2%. Gold futures up 0.57% this morning, 2044, which is interesting with the dollar. That tells me there's a little bit of risk off there. Maybe a little bit of selling possibly coming in terms of the S&P and the stock market. Maybe a little more than where we are. Just for the fact that gold is up. Gold is usually, kind of that safety trade. Hey, I want to kind of preserve my capital. And gold and stocks have been kind of going tandem, going together. With the dollar going down, obviously, inverse correlation. But now that gold's up and stocks are down, that is a little interesting. So I'm going to keep my eye on that very, very closely. 23.36 on silver, futures up 0.25 point. Copper's down 0.31% at 379.80. All right, euro dollar 109.45 for my Forex people, 143.73. $4 yen down 51 pips. 133.71 for dollar Canadian dollar. That's up 22 pips. Pound dollar 127.24 down 22 pips. Bitcoin 47,310 and Ethereum 22.97. We are nearing a golden cross on the weekly chart on Bitcoin. We're not there yet. We'll let you guys know when we do, but that is the first time in the history of Bitcoin. 100K is coming. The question is when. That's what I believe in. And again, I made that prediction 2 years ago that we were going to get, or 2022, that we were going to get 100K Bitcoin. I was wrong then. So I think let's just keep that as our gauge. 100K, we'll do a video when it does, but that's where we think we're going. But again, it's a matter of time, really. All right, so good morning, everyone. Let's see. Good morning, Alejo. What about Palantir? Pennant forming on the hourly. Let's take a look at it. All right. Good old Palantir. Seeing S&P drop this morning. Is Palantir up this morning? Pretty much flat. I'm waiting for the alert at 17.15 for Palantir. One of my favorite stocks. One of the top 10 of 2024. Don't forget. If you haven't seen that video, make sure to take a look at our channel. We broke it down, Palantir. Get me above. We need to clear 1691. That's your 100-day moving average. I put an alert at 17.15. If we get there, then I would target the 1750 calls, if not the 18 calls. And we'll go ahead and target the 50-day moving average. So we need 1715 on Palantir for us to get some continuation on it for more upside. But I do expect it to run higher. So I do like the view on Palantir here. Was it Jurgen? Sorry. Good morning, Ryan. QQQ back down to 396. Let's see it. We'll go to the daily to see where we're going. Did we reject 403? Yep, we're back below the 20-day, guys. That's a big deal. So we need to recapture that. 403.60. We got to get above there. The question is, do we get back down to 396? That is the lows. If you break 399, probably. Again, we closed above the 20. Now we got to see the close of today. Anything can change, obviously. We still have a gap to fill at 407.58. So we're watching that very closely. AMD, for example, filled its gap, and we traded that yesterday. Check this out. Yeah, we played it. We used this 20-day moving average as our pivot point. We played the 145 calls. They're in the money still. And that gap is filled on AMD. We let everyone know on the signal. Check this out. Here's the watch list. was part of the watch list this week. So shout out to Nick with AMD. Closed off support last week above 141, play the 145 calls. There you go. That was the setup, and try to squeeze a little more on AMD, but we got what we got, 40%. That was kind of, it got to 66%, and then we used 40% profit as our stop, and then it tagged it. And it went higher, went as high as 122. Tried, but I do have runners on AMD, so if you guys are still holding it, awesome. For the guys who have not joined the blog yet, this one is for you guys. Every week, I put out a 3 stocks that I'm watching. Call it a watch list, whatever you want. The word watch list gets thrown around a lot, obviously. And I put this up at 8:22 on a Sunday. This was right before that Bills-Dolphins game. I like to knock out all the stuff I got to do, all the work stuff before football, because football don't last forever, as we know. We're already in the playoffs. 8:22 p.m., and I talked about it on the video, on the weekly video. So again, Apple, above 182.73, we were looking for the 185 calls. BAC and JPM are still there, but we did get Apple, and I'm glad we did. We hit it for 50%, got as high as 100%. It is pulling back now. This is why you take profits. Anything could happen. It traded at 185.56 in the money yesterday's close. It is now at 183.92. We just had some headlines regarding Samsung. So, yeah, reversals happen. You know, we got out of it, thank God. I'm glad everyone got their money. That's the important thing. But I'm trying to balance for you guys where we can maximize all we can in terms of every trade. So we're having quality over quantity in 2024. And yet still keeping that risk profile in check, keeping everything in order where we don't get reversed on. I just got the spreadsheet done, guys. All set. I actually have 2 of them. So the one that's visualized, I want to kind of show just a little bit of a preview. Here's the overview. Oh, that's this year. Detailed. Here we go. This is the overview of all the trades of 2023. It's all journaled. I think it just messed up here. Let me see. You get back. There you go. I don't know why it's looking like that, but either way, you could see the detailed charts, top 5 symbols, bottom 5, and everything like that. We're going to go over all this together, guys. So just want to give everyone a heads up. That video is coming. And it's important to visualize these things. And you're going to see some things in this video about how we messed up. You're probably thinking to yourself, oh, this looks great. We got to improve. So this is going to be our practice tape. This is going to be the tape that we're going to be looking at, learning together, writing stuff down, and looking at the strategies that we've used last year, what worked, what didn't. And this is going to help us propel us in 2024. I want to look back in the future and say 2023 was the worst year of trading. That's when I know we did great things. So that video is coming tonight. I will make sure to post that tonight. It will not be live, but make sure to turn on notifications. 2023 year in review. We're going to talk about all the trades that we did on the option side, explain the months, ups and downs. If you're somebody that is interested in day trading or is a day trader, obviously, or has thought about joining our service or even just watching our videos every day, this is going to be an important video to watch to kind of see how we do things and, you know, how the mistakes that we've made and how we can fix them. That's the key. That's the key to growth, guys. So enough about that. Thoughts on Apple for more upside. Let's look at it together. So AMD and Apple yesterday, 2 winners. That's 6 in a row. Keep it going, baby. NFL, everyone knows what that means on the radio. So we're getting a pullback here. We are now at 184. If you still have those 185s, I have a runner as well. Again, if it's in the money, you're fine. Just don't let it go red. I still expect more upside of bounce on Apple. I do. There was just a headline regarding Samsung that came out. I didn't read that headline, so let's see it. Where is it? No, double. Here we go. Samsung warns fourth quarter profit could plunge 35% and it misses expectations. I even said there, careful with Apple. This headline could affect the stock. So I think that's where we're getting the initial weakness. Obviously, you can see the NASDAQ down. I have an alert above the 50-day moving average, guys, at 187.67. When we break that, we're going to trade the 190 calls and we'll play up to 191.92. That's your upside gap fill, and that's your 20. If we break above that, then all is well. And I don't think that we will immediately. I just want to target that gap fill. What I'm trying to target is not that Apple's a great company, which it is. Not like they have some accelerated revenue growth or anything I'm excited for in terms of the Vision, Apple Vision Pro, the headset thing, which is, don't get me wrong, it's cool. It does look cool, but those headsets, they can get you dizzy, right? It's not for everybody, let's say. It's not as universal a product as a tablet or a phone. But again, the tablet, when that first came out, a lot of people were like, why would I have a big iPhone in my hands? So Apple obviously has master marketing, but again, they haven't sold one yet. So we can't really price in future, profitability of their newest product as of yet. We'd have to see the guidance from their newest quarter. This is why earnings is so important, guys. So important. So above 187.67, we're just going to play this price imbalance, that upside gap to fill. That's all it is. And that was really due to the headlines in regards to the watch patent. And then we had I think we had downgrade before as well, but it was really the patents, and there was an antitrust lawsuit. So again, just beating down the stock. But again, we're looking at a snapback rally. Remember, it was a below 30 RSI. That was the lowest point it was. And since the end of October, that was back when the stock was 165. So again, the gap fill, that's going to be target. Get me above 187.67, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. Top of the morning, NB, top of the morning. We did fill some UAL. I think that was on Instagram from the social media team. My target was 43.51. Let's take a look at the daily. We are in those. They're for February. And 43.51 is my target here because that is the resistance that we had in December. Now we're right at 43.45. If we can get one more leg higher, get above 43.85, then we're looking at this target here. This red line is the 200-day moving average. Nothing good happens below the 200-day. It was a trader, Paul Tudor Jones, 45.47. That's what we're looking for. And then above that, we have a gap fill at 47.28. If we can break that 200-day, I think that will be a really good move higher, and we'll probably see more volume into that. But really with UAL, what stood out with UAL was the unusual volume, and that's why we sent that signal. I went ahead and broke it down as well. Take a look here at the watches and charts. That's going to be on my watch today, all day on the charts. The February 1645 calls have unusual volume of 13,000 right off the rip. We'll use the 41.81 as our pivot support. That is the 100-day moving average. Target the 200 DMA of 45.47. We have a gap to fill of 47.28. So this is just reiterating the fact. Just keep an eye on it. Obviously, if you're not in it, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to be in it, but again, that's what we're watching. And again, guys, we'll go over this every week on the weekly recap anyways. If you're a YouTube subscriber or viewer, you know where we are, kind of teach you along the way what we're watching and stuff. DraftKings, we talked about this past weekend, 33.65. You're about 4 cents above where we closed. Not exactly anything we should get too excited about. But we'll see what we get in terms of continuation. I'm just looking for about 34.50 or so by March. I think we do have some reasonable amount of time, but those premiums are going to run slow because the demand's not going to be there because of the longer dated time. I didn't check the volume yesterday on DraftKings, but I will keep an eye on it and see where we go. In terms of S&P 500 futures, look at this kind of double top-ish area that we had from Thursday and Friday. That's right around 47.60. That's going to have to be your support today. I don't think we break below that or close below that, So 47.60 for my scalpers out there, futures guys. That's where I'm looking at to possibly look for a turnaround bounce play. We still have inflation this week. Not tons going on in terms of economic data, but we do have the 10-year bond auction, I believe, on Thursday. So again, nice little pullback here. I don't think we retest all the way to the breakout of 47.20. I think we get around this zone of 47.60, and then we'll get a little bit of a bounce and chop around. More likely, we probably close red. I don't think anything changed in regards to the almanac. The almanac says tomorrow is going to be green, and that's really it. That's where we are this morning. Still rather quiet. Yesterday was nice in terms of the market move. We're kind of giving some of that back. So, I mean, it's really just going to be a step-by-step process in terms of finding the volume out there so we can trade. UAL starting to come around now. We'll see if we catch that this morning. I would love that. I would love to keep adding those winners for the month. NVIDIA entry above 528. I don't know if he's looking for a trade or he's looking for investment. Okay. It is a beautiful breakout. No one can doubt that. But if you're looking to buy the stock, listen, if you really, really want it at 525, that's fine. I just don't think you need to buy it today at 525. I think you can kind of spread out the buys a little bit and average a good price. Dollar cost average. Instead of buying at the absolute top, And again, we don't know if this is the absolute top or brand new all-time highs. 500 is a really good support area. As we know with this breakout, again, it would just be a rather retest. And again, NVIDIA will get back to 500. If anything, I would prefer to put a limit order at 500. If not 487, that's your 20-day. But keep in mind, guys, NVIDIA has some news. Yes, we traded AMD with it. AMD's our cheaper, or cheaper brother of NVIDIA, let's just say, in terms of the semi space. Because NVIDIA is just expensive to trade. Again, I can't send an $8 signal to everybody. That's not fair. So to everyone. So the idea is to just do AMD, and that's what we wrote all in 2023. I'll go over that. But I would put limit orders for that NVIDIA buy. If you really wanted to buy the stock, at least save a couple of bucks, right? Doesn't mean you hate it, but again, buying it right off the rip at 525, you're going to pull back to 500. NVIDIA's earnings are going to be very key because, boy, are there elevated expectations. Remember that. The higher the expectations, the more likely the disappointment. So you start paying these high multiples, price to sales. You start seeing the stock move higher. Expectations grow. So unless NVIDIA is going to knock it out like they did back in 2023, I believe it was March, one of like the greatest quarters in the history of the stock market that I remember. Man, I remember that day. I think NVIDIA was up like 20% right after earnings. Unless we get something like that, then I could see where you'd be like, damn, Carlos, I missed it. I missed the entry at 522. I should have bought it there. That's highly unlikely, in my opinion. I still think that earnings, unless they are amazing, the higher we go, the higher the expectation, and I think we're due for a pullback. We'll talk about that on the investment strategy video this week coming up. I'm going to do the spreadsheet one first of 2023, and then we're going to preview the 2024 and really break down the seasonality, what we're expecting, what to look at. Oh, it's going to be a great video, guys. You need to be subscribed because great things are coming, and I'm excited for it. All right, I think that's where we are today. Good stuff all around. Like the way we started the week. The idea is to keep the momentum, and we'll be on the radio with Premium Masterclass members. Me, Nick, and I believe the other Nick and Juan will be on. So we can have some fun, talk a little more, and help you guys out. That's the deal. One more question for the road. Let's see. Tesla. Good old Tesla. Anything that we want to trade here is the question, right? Possibly. 238.70 at the moment. Pretty much just holding the 50-day. It's still a downward trend, guys. Nothing against Tesla, but again, we've traded that many times, as we know. One of our faves. But it's still a downward trend, at least here on the daily. You got to hold the 50, sure, but if that 230 level breaks, 225 is coming. So I don't like it here, to be honest. If I'm looking for more upside, you got to get above 265. So yeah, I'm not doing that. There's nothing there to really talk about in terms of Tesla unless you're literally scalping. Do I follow a firm? Yep. Yeah, of course. I don't know if we've traded a firm this past year. Maybe the Masterclass did. I'm not sure. You could see this kind of resistance top forming right around the 50 area. We're at 44.90. You're going to have to break the highs. That's really it. If you break the highs, then, now we're talking about how high can we go? What's the next moving average? But yeah, firm looks like it's really starting to move, but you're right at the 20-day. Got to get me above there. And then if you break above 52, could you flip it? Yeah, 52, you buy it and you put a stop right around 34, if not 40, and see if you can get back to those 52-week highs of 80, well, not 52-week highs, more like 104-week highs of 84.68. That's the highest in the past 2 years. You can always do that swing. I probably would tell our team to do that if we got above 52.56, and it would be a complete trade. We did the same with Shopify. So these are high betas. This is what it is. When rates go lower, have you noticed when rates went higher, all these names went down? It's more expensive to borrow. When it's cheaper to borrow, they can grow. That's kind of the correlation there. So, yeah, definitely a firm is going to be a big beneficiary to lower rates as we expect. So 52.57, you can go for a swing to 84.68, and you can put a stop at 35 or 40 and just let it ride. And that'll just be a trade. Would I want to own a firm? Not a company that's so economically sensitive. I'd rather just trade it personally. All right, we'll go ahead and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys on the server, the Discord server. If you are interested, please make sure to take a look at the description box below. We have all the information for you to get onto our Discord blog. We have now, how many members? 1476. See if we can get to 1500 by the end of the week. That's the goal. Have a good one, team. We will see you tomorrow. Cheers.